professionalturf.com.
Joe, when Kenny speaks, I can hear radio dials changing channels all over the Twin Cities.
When our governor made an appearance, was it yesterday?
Yes, sir.
I believe this is Eau Claire, Wisconsin, and he was working the room like he thought he was Chris Rock.
It's got the stool and the mic stand and the whole
Was there a
deal.
bottle of water on the stool?
Yep.
Just like he's doing an HBO special. So here's a bit of what he said yesterday.
Saying on my phone, I don't know, some of you know this on the iPhone, they've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and if you own one, we're not blaming you. You can take dental floss and pull the Tesla thing off, and take out, just telling you. Saying on my phone.
Thank you.
What did he say it was at?
225.
It's now at 234.22.
Let me try to remain calm.
Good luck.
This is all because this fellow thinks he's going to be a presidential candidate.
Yep.
He's trying to keep that hope alive. This state is off the rails. This state is in horrible, horrible financial condition. The culture he has engendered in his administration has given away hundreds of millions of dollars to nonprofits with no oversight whatsoever. I'm the one who's been saying I believe it's been done purposefully. The kind way to say it, what he would say, we're just a generous people, I guess. What they're really doing is redistributing wealth. And as he has enjoyed a trifecta, they couldn't give away enough money. They took your tax dollars, they gave it to unaccountable people and never provided any conditions for the reception of the money. Never. They had to be told this by their own legislative auditor. It didn't make any difference. Walz continues to get away with it, and they feign some concern when the nonprofits get caught in the real world by the judicial system. It was through nothing Walz did or his trifecta that brought the food fraudsters, for example, to justice. They didn't do a thing to make that happen, nor will they do a thing to make the daycare fraudsters come to justice. They won't do a thing to make the Medicaid fraudsters come to justice. He's ruined the state in the sense that he's ruined it in line with ideological Mysterian wishes. He's helping to bring that about. This state is not recognizable compared to what it was. I'm going to use the year 2005. As recently as 2005, this state is unrecognizable. There has been no adult supervision, no personal responsibility, no fiduciary responsibility, and a complete breakdown of any expected oversight that would have prevented any of this from happening. And for some reason, I don't understand why are the Democrats nationally so stupid that A, they don't understand why they lost, and B, they think it's perfectly acceptable that the head of a failing state, a dramatically failing state, is out there pretending to do stand-up comedy to build up his resume for a presidential run? Is there anyone in that party who can shake the lapels of people and make them realize how unwanted they are and what they can do to correct themselves? This is truly astonishing that this fellow is that tone deaf to what's happening. And again, I'm the one who says it's on purpose. So he's not tone deaf to what's happening. He knew what was happening all along. It's the redistribution of wealth, and they figured out how to do it. Think of the gall
of that guy to get up on stage and say that, as you mentioned, we had an $18 billion surplus, which is now going to be a $6 billion deficit, while the largest fraud in history is on trial in his own state. Think about that.
By the way, the jury has the case as we speak. Mm-hmm. John has that coming up.
That takes some balls, man.
Yesterday we...
Well, wait a minute. Don't move on. Do you think this is on orders from above, Joe? From somebody in the DFL party? Go out there and keep your face in the news? Or do you think this is all him and Gwen?
I think it's him. I don't think he has great fans. If there are any such thing left as any DFL kingmakers or cigar smokers in the back room, I don't know if there are. I don't think they would be fans of Walz. I think this is all Tim's ego.
On a national level, we know in this state you could put a DFL sticker on a cadaver, and that dead body will win an election in this state.
Yesterday we talked about, I'm not leaving this topic, generally speaking. We talked about the Democrats voting down the idea of providing $4 million a year to pregnancy resource centers, while ensuring that more than $24 million a year will still be going to Planned Parenthood. And they came up with all sorts of ridiculous rhetoric that seems to indicate that they view birth as some sort of patriarchal event in life, that especially if it's birth by a white person, because they're trying to undo the country and they're trying to bring that about by the mystery. And today we learn again from Alpha News that one of the longest tenured Democrats in the Minnesota House, oh, wait a minute, where am I? We have a bill that was carried by Tina Liebling in 2023 that the DFL trifecta passed, which effectively repealed the long-standing Born Alive Infants Protection Act. The 2023 legislation modified language in state statute that had required medical providers to preserve the life of an infant born alive after an abortion procedure, to instead require only that they provide care for the infant. The 1976 version of this bill, the 2015 version of this Born Alive statute, they were passed with Democratic support. Late last week, House File 24, the bill attempting to restore the Born Alive Act language to the state statute, failed to pass by one vote, as 67 Republicans voted for the proposal and 66 Democrats voted against it. Bills need 68 votes to pass. So, the caveats have to be entertained here. This, of course, does not happen frequently. That a baby is born alive after an abortion procedure. It's very rare. I'm not sure it's ever happened in Minnesota. But what if it happens once? There is no compelling interest in the law to preserve the life of the child, because the Democrats voted to make sure that wasn't in the language. These people are demonic. I'm perfectly willing to grant this doesn't happen much, if at all. It doesn't happen.
Ever.
I don't know who these people are.
Well, it does come from a very dark place to propose that type of legislation, correct? I mean, that's shocking.
Comfort care is not preserving life. That's just wait until the kid conks out, fluff up the pillow. So maybe that's how they can all justify it in their minds, as they preserve their intent to be as corrosive as possible to the very idea of there even being a United States of America. Maybe they justify it in their minds by saying, it's never going to happen. So then they're able to go to the darkest wing of their constituency and say, "See, we didn't let you down. Even if the baby's born alive after an abortion, it won't make it." That's apparently how they're justifying it, by saying, "And don't worry, that won't happen." These people are not well. I mean that. They're something has happened to them. They have consumed the mystery. They have consumed it. They hold every American convention in contempt. They hold every American convention in contempt. And I just think that many of the voters, particularly in the inner city, are just absolutely not paying any attention. They have no idea what these so-called Democrats are up to.
Well, it's just like what Kenny said. I mean, they see the DFL next to a name and they just check the box.
This fellow who just won in Roseville in the special election, what's his name? Dave Schneider, Steinberg, Friedberg, I don't know. He won by 77% of the vote. Does anybody in Roseville realize what they just did? Do they care? They don't care.
They made sure they didn't vote for a Republican.
Right.
That's all they're doing.
Yeah. Well,
It seems to me like it's more of a Republican problem than it is a
David
DFL
Gottfried.
David
Democrat.
Gottfried.
Sorry, Kenny.
Democrat problem.